If you're running Google Ads to generate leads, but you're not seeing the leads come in consistently, in today's video, we're going to walk you through the main aspects that if you have implemented, you're a lot more likely to get the leads coming in every day as you're looking for your campaigns. Now, the first thing you want to look at is your overall structure, and that starts out with conversion tracking. So inside the conversion summary table, you most likely want to have your conversions looking somewhat like this. So a conversion action for form submissions, and in most cases, two conversion actions for phone calls, so a phone call from the landing page and a call from the call asset, because we want to make sure we're telling Google what actions are actually considered as conversions in the first place, so that Google can actually get us more of those consistently. And that all starts out with conversion tracking. So if you're a service-based business, it's as simple as just having a form submission conversion action that you're tracking. And also it's usually two for phone calls, because you might have someone call from the website or the landing page, but also someone calling directly from the ad itself. And now, once you have your conversion actions set up properly, then for phone calls and form submissions, the other main part of your overall campaign structure is looking at the different ad groups that you're running for your campaign. And if you have a bunch of keywords that you want to target for your campaign, it's about making sure that they're split up into different ad groups based on intent. Because what you do not want to do is have a big list of keywords that is all grouped together in the one ad group, and you try to make an ad that's somewhat relevant to all of those keywords. So this is an example of a landscaping campaign, but we're not just going to have a landscaping ad and throw all of the keywords that are relevant to their services into that one ad, because it's impossible to make an ad that's highly relevant and likely to be clicked on, and also to have a relevant landing page for all of those keywords. So instead, what you want to do is look at all the keywords that you want to target for your most profitable services. So let's just say for a landscaping company, you might do patios, driveways, artificial grass installation, and fencing. Instead of putting all of them into one general landscaping ad group, what you instead want to do is group all of those keywords into separate ad groups based on intent. So all of the keywords in that one ad group have the exact same intent, and there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to how many keywords you should have in each ad group. In some cases, you might have less than 5 keywords, and in other cases, you might have even over 20 keywords. But as long as the meaning of the keywords in each ad group is the same, and you're able to write a highly relevant ad for those keywords, where looking at those keywords, the ad copy is highly relevant to all, and the landing page that they go to also matches with what they search for with the keywords that you're targeting, then that's what you really want to think about when it comes to organizing your keywords into separate ad groups. Because not only will this increase your click through rate, which is a big part to play in your actual expected click through rate, which is the most important aspect in determining your overall quality score, you're also far more likely to have a higher conversion rate as well. Because as we'll touch on with landing pages in a minute, if you have a landing page that's highly relevant to what they search for as well, then it's far more likely to convert. Because if somebody searches for artificial grass installation and they go to a landing page that says artificial grass installation, the conversion rate is going to be a lot higher than if you were to direct all of that traffic to your general landscaping website or even a general landscaping landing page. And the last thing I want to touch on with structure as well is your actual keywords. So each of the keywords in each ad group must all mean the same thing in terms of having the same intent, but you also want to choose keywords that actually have high intent. So having high buying intent means that if somebody was to search for this keyword, are they actually interested in getting this job done? So we're not just looking for anyone searching for artificial grass on its own, because that could be someone looking to buy the role of the product, but someone that's actually likely to be looking to get it installed themselves. So having keywords with clear buying intent is key. And what we like to do as well in the vast majority of the campaigns that we're running is, especially at the beginning, starting out with all exact match keywords and fully maxing that out before even considering phrase or broad match keywords, because we know the quality of our traffic is going to be a lot higher early on. And we know from that the quality of the search terms that we appear for under these keywords are likely to be a lot higher, and there's going to be a lot more irrelevant searches that we're going to have to add as negatives to this campaign. And so you don't need to worry as much about a ton of wasted spend from irrelevant searches that you know have nothing to do with what you offer. The next one then is bidding strategy, which isn't as important overall as having the right structure in place with your keywords, ads, and landing pages organized into separate ad groups. But you want to choose the right bidding strategy depending on where you're at with your current campaign. And the bidding strategy is typically dependent on how much conversion data you have and how much conversions you've actually received in the last 30 days, for example. So just for context, as an example, with this campaign, it was around, if I remember, the 12th of February of this year, we started running the campaign. And so if we look at the first month of conversion data for this campaign, we got about 25 leads in the first month, which was really good considering we started out this campaign using a maximized clicks bidding strategy. And we did so to gather as much relevant conversion data as possible. And we set a low maximum cost per click bid limit as well. So we were able to get a lot of clicks early on, but we were also able to get a lot of conversions because we had a low cost per click and we had a decent cost per conversion with that as well. And now, usually after the first month, if we have closer to 20 conversions, per example, or a bit less, we might stay with maximized clicks a bit longer. Or if we just about have 20 conversions, for example, after the first month or a bit longer, we'd typically go to maximize conversions then without a target CPA because we're not confident in saying that we've gotten enough conversions in the last 30 days to know that the target CPA will work well because we don't want to stop spending our budget completely. But because we had about 25, 26 conversions in the first 30 days, we were comfortable in making the switch straight from maximized clicks with a cost per click bid limit to a target CPA. And initially, on around the March the 11th, when we actually set this target CPA, we set our target CPA to around the €40 mark, which was actually higher than what we were already paying per lead because we wanted to be as flexible with Google as we possibly could because we didn't want to stop getting leads whenever the campaign was going through the bid strategy learning phase. So we were as flexible as we possibly could. And then when you look at the month after this, then we ended up getting 37 conversions and a much lower cost per conversion. And this allowed us then to start setting lower target CPAs because we set our target CPA for a number that's around what we were paying per lead or a bit higher, and then continued optimizing the campaign as we typically would, and then started bringing that cost per conversion down. But we didn't set that target to the €22 mark at first. So overall, when it comes to bidding strategies, typically your best option is to start out with manual or maximum clicks at the beginning to actually generate that relevant conversion data, whether that be 20, 25 conversions, and then you can switch over to maximize conversions once you have a decent amount of conversion data. But if you have 20, 30 conversions in the last 30 days, then you can also set a target CPA. Now, the next thing you want to look at to actually make sure that your ads are standing out from your competitors and getting the click in the first place to go to your landing page is looking at your ad copy first of all, and then your assets as well, which we'll touch on next. But you're looking at your ad copy. The main things you want to consider is that does someone feel like they're in the right place straight away when they see your ad? So in this ad, for example, we actually have a pinned headline 1 for artificial grass installation because that's what all of the keywords of that ad group are related to. And with that, we almost had a click-through rate of 22% in that month period that we discussed with a high conversion rate as well. And for this ad, what we found worked well was having a poor ad strength but having full control over where our headlines appear. So we had a pinned headline 1 of keyword focus, and then we had a pinned headline 2 of a call to action, which was get a free quote in minutes, and then a pinned headline 3 for when Google shows that as well of how many 5-star reviews they have. And we found that to work pretty well, but you don't have to go down that route. You can use your 15 headlines and 4 descriptions and get just as good results. And we found that doing that as well works really well when, for example, you have 4 or 5 headlines with keyword focus. And what you can do with those is still pin all of those to position 1 because you can pin multiple headlines to position 1. And that way, then you know that your first headline will still have keyword focus and is highly relevant to what you offer, so that you're most likely only going to be getting clicks from people that are actually interested in what you offer. And that way, then when they go to the landing page, the headline of the landing page is going to be relevant to what they clicked on, but you're giving Google more flexibility to test different headlines and descriptions. So that way your ad strength might be good or excellent instead of poor. And then if you are going the 15 headlines route, for example, you could have 4 or 5 headlines that are specifically keyword focus. You could have another 5 headlines that are call to actions, and you could have another 5 headlines then that are unique benefits to why they would choose you. And the more you think about what you can do to stand out from your competitors with your ad copy, the higher your click-through rates will be, and the higher your ad rank will be as a result, because Google recognizes that your ad is more likely to be clicked on, so they'll be more incentivized to show your ad over any of your competitors as well. And the next thing you want to make sure you have in place with your campaign is using all of the relevant assets. And this includes your image assets, your business name, business logo, site links, call outs, structured snippets, and call assets. Those are the ones we typically use in all of the campaigns that we're running. And the more relevant assets that you have, the higher your expected click-through rate will be because the size of your ad is bigger. And as we mentioned as well, the expected click-through rate portion of quality score is the main factor really that goes into determining your quality score. So having all of these relevant assets in place is the easiest way to stand out a lot more from your competitors because your ad is going to be a lot bigger by default. And getting the initial click from the impressions that you get is the first step in actually getting consistent leads because you need to have a consistent stream of clicks coming in to actually get the leads in the first place. And what you want to have then for those that actually click on the ad is high converting landing page like this that is highly relevant to the keywords and ads of that ad group. So this would be a perfect headline here for the artificial grass installation ad group we were talking about recently. And also a landing page that inspires trust. So we have trust signals here rather than the typical nav bar of a website that would have the about us, services pages, and so on. Because with our landing page, we don't want to distract the user from the next action we want them to take because a website has so many links to different pages, and that's a big part of the reason why landing pages like this that are very simple just convert a lot better than your website. But you still want it to look professional in the sense that it almost looks like a website but just doesn't have all of the links to different pages that you don't want the user to go to. Now, we have made separate videos on the channel that goes into a lot more detail on all the specific aspects of landing pages, including what to have in your hero section up here, as well as more social proof underneath it, information about what you offer and call to actions and so on, and making sure that you have it fully optimized for mobile. But the key thing to mention about landing pages in terms of what we discussed when it comes to getting consistent leads and what we mentioned already so far in this video is that you want to have one for each ad group, because if you have a separate landing page for artificial grass installation and then a separate one for general landscaping and then a separate one for patios and driveways and fencing and so on, is that it makes a lot more sense that if somebody clicks on an ad saying artificial grass installation, that the conversion rate on the landing page that says artificial grass installation is typically just going to be a lot higher than if they were to go to a general landscaping landing page that's somewhat relevant to what they offer but doesn't exactly match what they were looking for. And then once you have those core fundamentals in place with your setup, including your overall structure with your ad group, keywords, ads, assets, and your landing pages, what you want to do then once you have your campaigns set up and you have everything running properly, including your conversion tracking, is that you need to optimize your campaign on a regular basis. And that includes everything from doing your search terms early on to actually gathering data on all the different keywords, ads, and landing pages that you're running, and continuously focusing on the aspects that are performing best. So that can include pausing keywords that aren't performing as well as others. And that way, then, if you're only allocating your budget to the aspects of your account that's performing best, then you're naturally going to get more leads coming in consistently and bring down your cost per conversion with that. So what I'll do is leave the link up above to a video that includes all the main aspects when it comes to optimizing your campaign, which is the main thing you want to do after any campaign is launched once you've finished all the steps that we discussed so far inside the video. So I hope the video helped and gave you some clear guidelines on what to do if you are looking to generate leads more consistently for your Google Ads campaigns. And now, if you do have any questions at all about anything we mentioned inside this video or anything else related to Google Ads as a whole, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you are a service-based business looking for further help refining your own campaigns as well, feel free to have a look at the link in the description. And if you do like this Google Ads related content as well, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as we'll be posting all things related to Google Ads here daily. And hopefully we'll see you inside the next video.